Video. Happy Hump Day and welcome to another edition of the Weekly Dump. My name is Kevin, one of your KCCO Calgary admins. No, I didn't want to do that. And we are starting off on such a great note here. So I just wanted to do this instead of actually playing a video for you. So yeah, we are going live tonight and going to be telling some scary stories. Found a website with some really good short stories that will definitely make your skin crawl. But before we actually go and do that, I want to say hello and thanks for joining me tonight. But we definitely do need a drink to go along with some of these stories. So let's head on down to the bar and make ourselves a beverage. And you have seen this before on the show, and it is very good. It is a Ghostbuster. Seeing as we are in the spooky season, and decided to wear my Ghostbusters Ghost Trap t-shirt today. So let's head on down and make ourselves a beverage, and then we can come up and tell some spooky stories. So just to get you into the mood, let's get your taste buds tempted with some delicious beverages. We'll see you downstairs. And welcome down to the bar here. I think we may have some technical issues going on, so I don't know whether you can actually hear me. So we're going to be making this drink very quickly and there so that we can use the good computer for this. So as I've told you before, the Ghostbuster has been on the show before. And what it is, peach schnapps, melon liqueur, and a little bit of Irish cream. So, melon liqueur, peach schnapps, and that's going to be in a container of ice. We have a bunch of ice cubes in here, so we will be mixing it up there, and then we'll be doing a drop of Irish cream into the middle of it. So with that, where are we here? We are doing 1.5 ounces of peach schnapps, 1.5 ounces of melon liqueur. And is so there's 1.5. And get this out of the way. And now for melon liqueur. One and a half. And we'll put this off to the side so we don't knock it out. And we will be bringing out the martini glass just to make it fancy. So we have it in here and we will shake it up. There we go. So we'll give it a little shake. And it is super cold. And then we pour it into our container, also known as a glass, and just to make it tempting. And then here, rather than pouring it in, because last time I poured in too much, I'm just going to put it into a shot glass, and you're only supposed to use like 5 or 6 drops. So I'm actually going to use a straw and just dab it in there. So that was a couple of drops. Let's do a couple more. Maybe one more. This looks kind of fun. And yeah, you can actually see it quite a bit better. So of course we have to take pictures. And I know this is going to taste amazing. But I like just how it sort of hangs right in there, like a ghost. All right. So with that, I'm going to say cheers to everyone and have a little sip. So cheers. And yes, of course, it's delicious. So let's head on back upstairs so that we can continue on with some scary stories. We're here. All right, we'll see you upstairs in just a few. And we are back, and with sound now. So I'm back up with my beverage here. So cheers to everyone who's sticking around and having a good, wonderful hump day. So cheers. Yeah, if we get through a few of the stories and you still want to stay online and chat, I did pull out my Halloween witch from Lego. So made it last year, but I think this year I might make the cat just to be a little bit different, or maybe even the dragon. So looking forward to putting that together. And yeah, why don't we just jump into the stories? And found this website called scoopwhoop.com and had some really good short, scary stories. And they said very short tales of horror that are better than most scary movies you've watched. So these are scary short stories on a subreddit on Reddit, and we had to share it with our readers. So if you're looking forward to a night of sleeplessness, read on, it says. So I'm going to share these with you. And this is from Bad Out of Hell 821, and it's called This New Old House. We bought an old house, my boyfriend and I. He's in charge of the new construction, converting the kitchen into the master bedroom, for instance, while I'm on wallpaper removal duty. The previous owner papered every wall and ceiling. Removing it is brutal, but oddly satisfying. The best feeling is getting a long peel, similar to your skin when you're peeling from a sunburn. I don't know about you, but I kind of make it a game of peeling, on the hunt for the longest piece before it rips. Under a corner section of paper in every room is a person's name and a date. Curiosity got the best of me one night when I Googled one of the names and discovered the person was actually a missing person. The missing date matching the date under the wallpaper. The next day, I made a list of all the names and dates. Sure enough, each name was a missing person with the dates to match. We notified the police, who naturally sent out the crime scene team. I overheard one tech say, "Yep, it's human." Human? What human? Ma'am, where's the material you removed from the walls already? This isn't wallpaper you were removing. So doesn't that just make your skin crawl? So it was actually skin that she was removing as opposed to wallpaper. All right, next one. Horror in pure form. I hate it when my brother Charlie has to go away. I hate it when my brother Charlie has to go away. My parents constantly try to explain to me how sick he is, that I am lucky for having a brain where all the chemicals flow properly to their destinations like undammed rivers. When I complain about how bored I am without a little brother to play with, they try and make me feel bad by pointing out that his boredom likely far surpasses mine, considering his confined to a dark room in an institution. I always beg for them to give him one last chance. Of course, they did at first. Charlie has been stuck at home several times, each shorter in duration than the last. Every time, without fail, it all starts again. The neighborhood cats with gouged out eyes showing up in his toy chest. My dad's razors found dropped on the baby slide in the park across the street. Mom's vitamins replaced by bits of dishwasher tablets. My parents are hesitant now, using last chances sparingly. They say his disorder makes him charming, makes it easy for him to fake normalcy, and to trick the doctors who care for him into thinking he's ready for a rehabilitation. That I will just have to put up with my boredom if it means staying safe from him. I hate it when Charlie has to go away. It makes me have to pretend to be good until he is back. So, yet another spooky story. All right, this one called Guardians by Dark Alligator. He woke he awoke to this huge insect-like creature looming over his bed and screamed his lungs out. They hastily left the room and he stayed up all night, shaking and wondering if it had been a dream. The next morning, there was a tap on the door. Gathering his courage, he opened it to see one of them gently place a plate filled with fried breakfast on the floor. Then retreat to a safe distance. Bewildered, he accepted the gift. The creatures chittered excitedly. This happened every day for weeks. At first, he was worried they were fattening him up, but after a particularly greasy breakfast left him clutching his chest from heartburn, they were replaced with fresh fruit. As well as cooking, they poured hot, steamy baths for him and even tucked him in when he went to bed. It was bizarre. One night, he awoke to gunshots and screaming. He raced downstairs to find a decapitated burglar being devoured by the insects. He was sickened, but disposed of the remains as best he could. He knew they had just been protecting him. One morning, the creatures wouldn't let him leave his room. He lay down, confused but trusting as they ushered him back into bed. Whatever their motives, they weren't going to hurt him. Hours later, a burning pain spread throughout his body. It felt like his stomach was filled with razor wire. The insects chittered as he spasmed and moaned. It was only when he felt a terrible squirming beneath his skin that he realized the insects hadn't been protecting him. They had been protecting their young. Isn't that just creepy? All right. All right. The First Day of School, Seeing Red by Zenri Howe. So this one looks very interesting. Everyone loves the first day of school, right? New year, new classes, new friends. It's a day full of potential and hope before all the dreary depressions of reality show up to ruin all the fun. I like the first day of school for a different reason, though. You see, I sort of have a power. When I look at people, I can sense sort of an aura around them, a colored outline based on how long that person has to live. Most everyone I meet around my age is surrounded by a solid green hue, which means they have plenty of time left. A fair amount of them have a yellow orangish tinge to their auras, which tends to mean a car crash or some other tragedy. Anything that takes people before their time, as they say. The real fun is when the auras venture into the red end of the spectrum, though. Every now and again, I'll see someone who's basically a walking stoplight. Those are the ones who got murdered or killed themselves. It's such a rush to see them and know their time is numbered. With that in mind, I always get to class very early so I can scout out my classmates' fates. The first kid who walked in was basically radiating red. I chuckled to myself, too damn bad, bro. But as people kept walking in, they all had the same intense glow. I finally caught a glimpse of my rose-tinted reflection in the window, but I was too stunned to move. Our professor stepped in, locked the door, his aura a thickening shade of green. So, those are some pretty freaky freaky stories so far. All right. This one is from Real Science 87. My daughter learned to count. My daughter woke me around 11:50 last night. My wife and I had picked her up from her friend Sally's birthday party, brought her home and put her to bed. My wife went into the bedroom to read while I fell asleep watching the Braves game. "Daddy," she whispered, tugging my shirt sleeve, "guess how old I'm going to be next month?" "I don't know, beauty," I said as I slipped on my glasses. "How old?" She smiled and held up 4 fingers. "It's 7:30 now. My wife and I have been up with her for almost 8 hours. She still refuses to tell us where she got them." So, how about we read just a couple more here? Okay. Hunt Frog, The Perfect Plan. On Monday, I came up with the perfect plan. No one even knew we were friends. On Tuesday, he stole the gun from his dad. On Wednesday, we decided to make our move during the following day's pep rally. On Thursday, while the entire school was in the gym, we waited just outside the doors. Actually, no, we're not going to read that. That's not a good one. I want something scary, not. All right, I think I'm going to call it because some of these other ones, they're just not as spooky as and scary as that original first one was. Hmm. Yeah, so, all right, I'm going to end it here. And yeah, why don't we get together next week for some more spooky stories? I'll go through this list and pick out a few more of them. I didn't have a chance to go through all of them tonight. And yeah, I'll pick out the best ones to share with you next week. So have fun during spooky season, and we will see you next week. And thank you for joining. Cheers. All right, everyone. Have yourself a great week, a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Cheers and chive on.